are always different and delicious, and it just makes me eat stuff that I'd never think of making anyway. So use my link in the description or go to hellofresh.com and use code POCCLOMAR60 for 60% off plus free shipping. Once you click, my description will live update the count of the purchases. Enjoy! Hi. Have you been? Okay. Well then, make yourself comfortable, alright? Okay. We're gonna get into all this, but first we're just gonna go through the usual questions, okay? We're keeping it up. So, how has your sleep pattern been this week? Like at what time you go to bed generally, if you keep track of that? Do you wake up in the night? And what time you get up? Okay. Okay. Do you wake up in the night? Okay. And do you remember having any dreams or nightmares, maybe? Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, do you remember if you have drank a lot this week? Water. Okay. Do you know about the average per day? Okay. Okay. It would be good to increase that a little bit. And have you done any exercise this week? Okay. How many times? Okay. And for how long? Average? Okay. Well, it is said that every session of working out gives yourself a boost in your mood and your mental health. So every time you work out, it actually benefits your mental health tremendously. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it can be yoga. Yoga is actually amazing for your mind. Yeah. And that actually leads us to your next question. Do you do any meditation at all? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it can, whether it is 5 minutes, 3 minutes, it is important. I would recommend doing it every day, even a little bit. Okay. And for your sleep, I would say 8 hours is ideal. Yeah. If you can, then at least 6, 7 hours, but 8 hours is great. I would also recommend going to bed before midnight. Yeah. And yeah, I can't recommend to try dreaming. Dreams are really good for your brain, for your mind, and it just makes you rest a bit more. But that's not something you can actually control. Alright, that would be great if we could. Yeah. So just try to have a good sleep, okay? Your sleep is going to impact your days and your mental health so much. That's going to help restore your well-being and your mind, okay? So just all of these things are in a combo, the things that are going to ultimately help you the most, okay? So I now have a new concept that I thought about, and which is going to be, I have a few sentences, and I would like you to tell me for each one how you relate to it and in what way. And I want you to explain and develop that for me, okay? But I don't want you to say just the sentence. I want you to actually expand on it and really look into yourself and into your relationships and your life and really try to apply the sentence and go deep with it, okay? I'll help you with that. Good. Alright, so I have a lot and I can just select a few. Alright. Okay. The first one is, we cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. Now, how do you relate to this? You can take all the time you want, it's okay. Okay. Don't worry at all. It doesn't bother me. Like if you need to search in your memories or just, to think, you're here for that. So take all the time you need. Okay. Okay. So let me help you there. What do you want to become? Okay. And what do you think you are? Are you far from what you want to become? Do you do anything every day to do something to get there? Or do you do the same thing every day and then you're not actually trying to get there? Maybe, like habits, sometimes habits are easy and we settle in them, and sometimes it's just comfortable. But comfortable leads you to places where it's not really where you want to be in the end. If you step outside of yourself and look at yourself, and is this what you want eventually for yourself? Or is there steps that you can take to actually become what you want? Maybe steps that you're afraid to take. Okay, so I want you to tell me about those steps and think about them and maybe list them, and I'll note that down, okay? Okay. You can think about your day, how your day goes, and is there anything in there that you can do tiny little steps sometimes can make huge improvements, but it's important to go step by step, you know. It's definitely no use going like doing a big step that seems impossible. Sometimes just taking one step at a time is actually way more productive. Okay. Okay. Good. Well, you know, you don't need to have a timing for what you want to become. Just make sure that you're actually working for it and to not settle into ways, into habits too much, and to just sometimes it's okay to rest and have a day off, but make sure that eventually that doesn't last too long and that you try to become the best version of yourself. Okay, good. That's great. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to type all this on my computer after the session, and then I'll send it to you, and you can go through it and just, you know, it will serve as a reminder. And next week I'm going to actually question you on all of these things that you've told me and see how we've progressed from today. Okay? Accountability. Exactly. Yeah, I'm here for that. Alright, so let's go to another. Let's see. When there is no enemy within, the enemies outside cannot hurt you. So, first let's start. I almost did all my steps. Okay. I want you to tell me about enemies outside. It doesn't have to be, you know, actual enemies. It can just be, it doesn't have to be people. It can be things that you fear outside of yourself in general. Okay. There's absolutely no shame and no judgment. You can say anything that you want. If you don't say it here, where will you say it? You know? So feel free to be honest and open. Okay. Okay. And why do you feel like this is an enemy for you? What's scaring you? What's bothering you? And how does it touch you? Okay. So, here's the enemy within, right? This is a reflection of everything that's inside you. And if it bothers you, then there's something within you that's not sitting right with you, or there's something that you could work on. And according to what you said, yeah. Okay. So, can you go a little into this? Why? Why do you feel like there's this enemy within you? Why do you not like this part of yourself, maybe? Okay. Okay. Have you ever thought about these things? Or is it something that is kind of buried within you and you don't want to talk about it too much? With yourself, at least. Definitely here you're here to talk about things, and I'm here to listen and to attempt at guiding you the best way I can. Okay. Okay. Good. Let's go to another. Let's see. All right, this one is a lack of boundaries invites a lack of respect. Do you feel like you relate to it in any way? It can be often with family members, with relationships of all types, and yeah. Okay, tell me about it. So, do you feel like there is sometimes a lack of respect and that maybe you're getting stepped on? Okay, and what do you do? How do you react when this happens? Do you let yourself get stepped on, or do you say, no, stop? Okay. Are you afraid that maybe if you actually set boundaries, you will lose the person, or it will change your relationship in any way? Or is it that you're afraid to stand your ground, maybe? Stand up for yourself? Is it hard? Okay. Now, if you ever did that, what do you feel would be the response of that person? Would they answer? Would they react badly? Or would they actually end up respecting your boundaries? What do you think would be the outcome of this? Well, if the person reacts positively, then you know that is someone that you can actually have a good relationship with, because they didn't understand communication sometimes is everything. And sometimes some people don't know what's going on if you don't tell them, if you don't communicate your fears, your feelings. So you have to make sure that you communicate that. Now, if the person reacts badly, then you will know that possibly there is a toxic element to the relationship, and you have to think whether you want to be around a person who refuses your boundaries. Okay. You have to be respected, and because you're a good person and you deserve respect, and that's what every human being deserves, right? So why not you? Yeah. It's just basic. relationships 101. So you definitely want to be surrounded by people who respect you. You deserve it. Sometimes sometimes it doesn't work out with people, and even if it's family, sometimes for your own mental health, sometimes you need to cut off things, because then you will just have to take on a lot of things that you really don't want to take on. Apparently I'm doing cardio. It's just I'm really invested into everything you tell me. Okay. Now let's do one more. Okay. Confidence is not they will like me. Confidence is I'll be fine if they don't. How do you relate to this? Okay. So, does this situation arise anytime where you're fearing that you enter a room, or you meet new people, or you just see people again and you're scared, that people won't like you, or that you will be judged? Okay, tell me about these. Tell me about what happens in your mind when you actually encounter these situations. What thoughts do you have? What feelings does your body have? You can take your time and think about it. Okay. Right, so is confidence a general issue for you, or is it specifically in that area? It's okay not to be confident about everything. That would be, a great accomplishment, but it's also very human to not feel that you're not very good in a certain area, for example, or to be scared to be judged. It's okay. Okay. So, what happens when you get into these situations, and what happens? Are you scared that people will talk behind your back or something? Okay. Okay. So, I want you to think what actually happens if people judge you or talk behind your back. Yeah, so they say words. Now, do words affect you? Okay. And do they have an impact on your physical body? Okay. Do they have an impact on your life? unfortunately, it is a thing where people talk. People usually talk about, you know, everyone and everything, but it doesn't mean that they truly care. When people really insist and focus on others' lives, often it means that they're not really happy in their own lives, and so they'd rather focus on other people rather than themselves. So sometimes, often, it's not really about you, it's about them. And they just found anyone they could to talk about and pick on, but it's rarely to do with you. Yeah, you should be confident. You're great. You're a great person. And your life is no one else's business. And especially people that, you don't really know, or you don't really interact with. And even if you interact with them, your life and the way you are and who you are is no one else's business. And you should be proud of who you are. And if you feel like you have something to work on within yourself, then work on it. But don't feel bad. Just work on it and proudly say, I'm working on this. And that's fine. Okay, but never ever feel bad about what anyone has to say about you, because eventually it's just about them. It's not about you. They just need someone to talk about. Yeah, you're great. Okay. And I think you should tell yourself that, because if other people talk about you, or if you're afraid of others' judgment, I think your judgment about yourself is actually way more impactful. And you have to start loving yourself. And, your own self would really benefit from your own compliments to yourself. Yeah. And, we all have flaws, but we all have qualities, and you're no exception to that. There's definitely some things you like about yourself, even though sometimes you don't think about it. You have a lot of good qualities, and that's it. Okay. Definitely focus on everything that you love about yourself. It's important. And flaws, everyone has them. You just need to make sure that they're not, hurting people, that they're not hurting you. And if you can work on them, then that's great. But make sure that you show people that you love who you are. And if you show people that you have enough confidence that you'll be fine if they don't like you, then they will actually, it will probably bother them a lot. But you have to be at peace with yourself first. And I can promise you that from that moment on, then others' words and judgments will impact you much less. Right? But it's important that you do some self-care and self-love, because this is your life and you have only one, and you want to make sure that you cherish yourself, because you live with yourself in the end. And you're a lot of fun to live with, and I'm sure you have a lot of good things to say about yourself. So repeat them every day. Make sure you know yourself. Make sure you know everything, every detail about yourself. get to know yourself. It's fun. Okay. Do you have anything to add about this? Good. Well, then we'll meet next week. I'll send you all this, okay, by email. And then I can't wait to see what steps you've taken for this and maybe if it made you think a little bit throughout the week. I would love if you could maybe write these thoughts down so we can talk about it next week. Okay. Well, that was a pleasure. And take care of yourself, okay? Sleep, drink, exercise, meditate. Good. All right. Bye.